وَإِذْ قُلْتُمْ يَا مُوسَى لَن نُؤْمِنَ لَكَ حَتَّى نَرَى اللَّهَ جَهْرَةً. And remember the time when you said, O Musa, we are most certainly not going to believe in you, حَتَّى نَرَى اللَّهَ جَهْرَةً, until such time that we see God right before our eyes. فَأَخَذَتْكُمُ الصَّاعِقَةُ وَأَنْتُمْ تَنْظُرُونَ. So thunderbolt caught you while you were looking at it. ثُمَّ بَعَثْنَاكُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَوْتِكُمْ. Then we caused you to come back to life after you were dead. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. So that you may be grateful. The wish to have God before one's eyes, to look at Him, is not a bad wish. Of course, we thank God, we worship Him, we love Him, and if we get the privilege of looking at Him, it really would be brilliant. However, this wish can sometimes be expressed not for the purpose of looking at God out of love, but to reject a message, to find excuses not to believe in what God has revealed. That was the kind of wish that the children of Israel expressed before Musa alayhi salam when he was presenting his message. Because it was an act of crime, it was their criminal mentality that caused them to ask for this desire to be satisfied. God Almighty punished them immediately. And this is the recurring message theme of these verses. That whenever the children of Israel did anything wrong, God Almighty punished them, took them to task. So what happened was that they all lost their consciousness. The word moth is normally used for death. However, if the context allows, it is also used for a state when you lose your consciousness. So that is the understanding which seems to be more relevant in this particular passage. ثُمَّ بَعَثْنَاكُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَوْتِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. Then we caused you to come back to life after you were dead, so that you may be grateful. That is, when you committed this crime of asking God to be seen right in front, we caused you to be punished through a thunderbolt which overtook you, and you all lost your consciousness, and then we brought back you to life. وَظَلَّلْنَا عَلَيْكُمُ الْغَمَامَ. And we put the shade of clouds over you. وَأَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَنَّ وَالسَّلْوَى. And we sent for you man and quails. Obviously, in the desert of Sinai, the children of Israel were faced with a number of difficulties. It was scorching sun that would cause them discomfort, and to help them out, God Almighty sent clouds that provided them with cool shade. They obviously needed food, and God Almighty provided them with man, which were dews, which would remain solid for a while, and in the morning the children of Israel would pick them and use them as their breakfast. And in the evening they would have birds, quails, which would appear in a manner that they could easily pick them and cook them for their purposes. This is something they were provided with a plenty every morning, every evening, in a place which was otherwise desert, where no such food could ever be possible. Kulut min tayyibati ma razaqnakum. God Almighty says that the situation itself invited them by a statement which may not necessarily have been mentioned in words, but the situation in itself was speaking. Eat from the pure food that we have provided you with. وَمَا ظَلَمُونَا. But what happened was that despite benefiting from those pleasures that the Almighty provided them with, they were ungrateful. God says, وَمَا ظَلَمُونَا. And they did no harm to us. وَلَكِنْ كَانُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ يَظْلِمُونَ. In fact, they caused harm to themselves by availing God's facilities, but still remaining ungrateful. May God Almighty help us in understanding His message properly.